I'm going to create a logo for Ventuno Wine Bar, and I'm going to use the drawing that's on the bottom. The bottom drawing is 8 by 4 horizontal orientation. I'm in Illustrator, and I want to create a new document. And I am going to make my document 8 inches wide and 4 inches high. So I already have these settings in here. If you're at a measurement other than inches, like pixels or points or whatever, you can choose inches. And so make your document the size of the drawing that you're going to use. So if your drawing is 4 by 4 square, then your document size should be 4 by 4. I have my 8 inch by 4 inch document, and I need to bring in my drawing that I'm going to use as a template. So I'm going to go to File and Place. I'm navigating to the location of my drawing, and I'm going to choose that file. And I can check this template box and choose Place. And checking the template box makes a template layer. And the template layer comes in locked, but it already has my my drawing kind of like faded back so that it's not 100% color, which means that I can draw more easily over the top of it. So in order for me to change the size, because remember my document is 8 inches wide by 4 inches high, this scan is really large. So I want to fit my drawing within the size of my document. So I'm going to unlock the template layer, and I'm going to go ahead and resize and reposition my, my drawing by dragging it around. And in order to resize this, I want to be careful to hold the Shift key when I click and drag on a corner node, because I'm going to shrink it down, but I want to maintain the proportions. Remember that if you don't hold the Shift key down, you could end up with something like this where you're distorting it. And I'm exaggerating that so that you can really understand what I mean. You could stretch it out as well, and that's not something that we want to do. So holding the Shift key while you click and drag will prevent you from distorting your image. And the way that I'm navigating as well around, moving the document around my my screen, is I'm holding the space bar, and when I hold the space bar, my cursor turns into this little hand, and if I click and drag, I can move things around. And then if I also hold the Command key, it will my cursor will turn into the zoom tool, and I can zoom in and out just by clicking and dragging my mouse around. All right, so in this way, I can zoom in and reposition my document and my my image as needed. All right, so I'm just going to position this and size it so that it fits. So I want the frame of my drawing to match up with the edge of my artboard. I'm moving this by holding down the arrow key. So you can nudge your image around by using the arrow keys on your keyboard, or you can use your you can just click and drag with your cursor. So I'm sort of doing a combination of these just because I want my drawing to match the size of my document. All right, and I'm even going to rotate this just a little bit because my scan that I did is a little bit off off level. So if I want to rotate this image, I can hover over the corner anchor point, and you see my cursor turns into a double curved arrow. And if I click and drag, I can rotate my image. All right, so that's that's pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and lock my template layer again. I'm going to rename my layer 1, which is where I'm going to draw my artwork. I'll rename that artwork. And then now is a good time to save. So let's save our document. Save as. And I've already created a folder named with my last name underscore VCD1000 underscore project 2 dash 2 because this is milestone 2. I have a document in there that I practiced on, but I'm just going to save over that. And instead of saving the format as Illustrator, let's go ahead and save it as an Illustrator EPS instead. Now in EPS, we can still edit that, but an EPS format allows somebody who maybe doesn't have Illustrator installed on their computer to view our artwork. All right, so I'm going to name my file based on our naming convention that we've been using. So project 2-2, and the -2 stands for milestone 2. And let's choose use artboards. Hit OK. And I'm just going to replace, I already had a file in there named the same thing. I'm just going to replace that. Now one more thing that I should do, which I should have done earlier, but I forgot to do, is I want to crop out, or mask out, I should say, all the rest of this image that I'm not concerned with. So I had just locked my template layer, but I'll go ahead and unlock that again. Let me actually lock my artwork layer so I don't accidentally draw on my artwork layer. So I have my template layer selected, unlocked, and I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to just, from the edge of my artboard, I'm going to drag out a rectangle, and I want that to fit my artboard. So I'm just going to draw that to the edges of the artboard. Should be pretty close. Right on if you can. Right on the edge. Notice how I'm zooming in, I'm holding the space bar and dragging around the document so that I can be comfortable. I can have a comfortable view and I can be zoomed in to see things the way that I need to so that I can be more efficient when I'm working. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use this rectangle that I just dragged out as a clipping mask. The rectangle's already selected. I'm going to hold the Shift key, select my image, and then I'm going to right-click and choose Make Clipping Mask. And that crops out all the rest of the image outside of my artboard. Okay, now I can go ahead and just re-lock my template layer. I'll unlock my artwork layer, select my artwork layer, and now I'm ready to work on my artwork layer.